Morning, everyone. It's Friday, December 13th, 2024. The Public Health and Safety Committee meeting hereby called to order. I think I might just do some introductions since we have here. I'm Jean Borat, chair of the committee, and we also have Cindy Records, which she's vice chair. She's on Zoom, and council member Mike Simonson, Mayor Andrea Deutsch, Chief John String, and from the public we have chair of the Police Advisory Committee, Rebecca Starr, and Maggie Dodds. I'll introduce you, or do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Maggie Dodds. I will be taking over as borough manager upon the departure of our venerated Matt West.
And
You got two managers today. Venerate. Wow. Appears.
So some of us know you from your prior work with Narber as our county community planner.
Yes.
And so welcome to the borough.
Thank you.
And I just want to take a moment to just give a big thank you to Matt West, just for I know he's agreed to stay on to the end of the month to help transition you into the role. And I think that really speaks to your character and your desire to leave the borough in a much better place than when you arrived. And I know council and staff is very grateful for that. So,
Thank you.
yeah, I think I also speak for the council and staff to say that we appreciate your professionalism, your leadership, and all the stability that you've brought to the borough over the past year. We're really sad to see you go at the end of this year, but at the same time, we're very happy that a new opportunity has found you, and we wish you all the best in
Thank you.
your next chapter.
Thank you. It's bittersweet. Thank you.
But we still have a lot of work to do until the end of the year, so we'll move on to the agenda.
17 more days.
Yep.
Working days.
So first item on the agenda is the approval of the November minutes.
I move to approve some minutes for the Public Health and Safety meeting of November 8th, 2022.
Second.
And it was circulated to everyone. Any comments? All in favor of approving the minutes? Minutes are approved. Then we have two action items on the agenda today. The first one is the Police Advisory Committee charge. Motion.
Yep, I move to adopt the draft charge for Police Advisory Committee to forward to full council.
Second.
Okay.
So I don't have anything additional to add about the content of it. This is something that this committee has been working on for the past couple of months. And I know the Police Advisory Committee had provided feedback in the most recent version of it, which this charge contains everybody's feedback. And so this is going to be going to council at next Thursday's council meeting for consideration. Additionally, I'd like to let this committee know that it will also be in front of the Finance and Admin Committee meeting as potential action, since this whole idea of creating these charges came from Finance and Admin. And so I thought it was a good idea for it to go in front of that committee as well. They'll be meeting next week, an hour ahead of the scheduled council meeting.
Okay, and then the charge is also included in the packet and it's been circulated to the committee. Any comments or discussion on that?
Just as a point of note, I've reviewed it and I am comfortable with the language in the charge.
Okay, great.
I think we should thank Rebecca for her input. Obviously, it was an iterative process, so lots of hands involved. It's nice to get sort of an overall consensus on the charge.
Yes, thank you. Anything else? So I guess we'll move on to voting on it. All in favor of adopting the draft charge for Police Advisory Committee? Motion passes. And then we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is appointing the chair of the Environmental Advisory Council. Can I get a motion for that?
Sure, I guess I'll move again to appoint Lee Davis as chair of the EAC.
Second.
So we received an email from Joe Toscano this week who informed the staff and council and the mayor that he is taking a new position at the National Science Foundation, which is going to be taking up a lot of his spare time, as if he had a lot of spare time to begin with. And he's just not comfortable, or he's just not confident that he'll be able to have the amount of time available to continue on as the chair of the EAC. So his personal recommendation, the EAC's recommendation, is to appoint Lee Davis, who has been, I believe, the vice chair for many years. And this is one of the different boards and commissions where Borough Council gets to appoint the chairperson of the EAC. So that's why it's coming before council. As it says on this agenda, it will be a consent agenda item, since that's typically what we've been doing. And I think it's a really good recommendation, and I would be supportive of that.
Is Mr. Toscano resigning from the commission or not stepping out as chair?
Just stepping down as chair. He hopes to continue serving in the EAC.
Any comments from other members? Yeah, I think that sounds good to me, and I think Lee Davis will be a good chairperson for the meeting. And I also want to thank Jay Toscano for his many years serving as our chair. He's really kind of led the way on a lot of initiatives and done a lot of good work. You know what? I just realized I didn't. I should have allowed Rebecca to comment on the police advisory charge, but we'll come back to that at some point.
If I have comments, I can submit them to, if it's going to finance and administration.
Okay.
That was like, were there any changes to
No,
the draft after our last conversation? I didn't know.
no, there were no changes.
I don't think I have any comments, but if I do.
I apologize for that. So
All right, the finance administration.
so I guess the tradition is to open it up for public comment, but I don't think there's any public comment for this action item. And there's no one online. So we'll vote. We're voting on appointing Lee Davis as the chair of the Environmental Advisory Council. All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. And then we'll move on to the discussion item. The first item is the 200 block of Price Avenue. So just a little bit of context, earlier this fall, residents came forward to report traffic concerns on the 200 block of Iona Avenue. The traffic engineer conducted a study and provided recommendations and a report to remove.
You said Iona Avenue or Price Avenue?
I'm sorry, Price Avenue.
Yeah, okay.
And then Chief String reached out to his residents and provided that report to them. Chief String, can you provide?
I already have feedback from one resident, and to summarize, the thought process was a one-way street was the only option that that resident was considering. Even though the engineer recommended, limiting parking, as the best alternative. So I've not heard back from the other residents once we expressed, the appropriate, based on the engineer's report, option would be a limit parking. So
Right.
it doesn't seem to be an interest in taking that course.
Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's interest to push that forward. Okay.
Not at this time.
Any comments from the committee? No. Okay, we'll move on to the next discussion item, which is traffic calming on Iona Avenue and Meeting House Lane.
All right, so as the ongoing conversation about traffic calming on Iona and Meeting House, As we've been discussing at this committee, Iona Avenue, the speed hump that is, the temporary speed hump that's installed will become permanent in 2025. That is included in the road paving program for 2025. I am excited to let this committee know that we have purchased 2 additional speed humps, temporary speed humps, like the one that is currently deployed on Iona. Given the rather economical cost of the mainline greenway signs that we are purchasing, we had some extra money left over in that line item for speed control devices, traffic control devices, and so we were actually able to purchase 2. I know we were discussed in this committee last month that we were going to purchase 1 and then recycle the one from Iona, but it became a timing issue. And okay, we're not going to go and lift the one on Iona and then move it to Meeting House. Then we're thinking, oh, let's put 1 out on Meeting House and see how that goes. But the traffic engineer recommended 2. And so we actually went and purchased those. I think we have received them already. And I'm excited to inform this committee that we've all done it under budget. So once the weather gets to the point where it is the right temperature to install those, they will be installed after the planning, the traffic engineer has reviewed the locations and has made a recommendation as to where they should go. And after we have informed the residents of that block of the proposed installation. So Jeff is working on that currently, and all of those things should be in place early 2025.
So, you know that I've been getting bugged by residents. No, I shouldn't say bug. Yeah, she's been inquiring, so I can tell her probably end of January, maybe
Early 2025
early 2025.
would be what I,
Okay,
that,
I'll let her know the progress.
yes, thank you.
So we'll have an extra one.
We will. We'll have 3 extra. Because Meeting House Lane is also going to be included in the 2025 road paving. And if those speed humps are successful, we would install those permanently. So we would have 3 temporary ones that we could use to deploy in other locations.
Okay,
Are they the same design as the one on Iona?
They are.
and I've received a couple inquiries from different residents who are like, why can't we get one? What can you for the public's understanding explain how one goes about asking for one of the speed bumps?
What my recommendation would be?
Yeah, what is the process?
We don't have a process
Okay.
currently. And I would recommend a process be developed sooner rather than later. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That outlines this, and certainly in coordination with the police department and public works. It should, roughly just thinking about it, should be traffic volume and traffic speeds. And there should be a process for review. And if chief of police signs off on, yeah, it is a volume and or speed issue, then yes, this should be deployed here.
We do have a general process for traffic concerns.
Through MyGov, right?
Through the MyGov portal, and which then goes directly to the staff, and then
Right.
staff kind of processes that. I think it goes to Chief String first, who conducts the initial review, and then it might be forwarded on to this committee after that if it's raised to that level.
I would recommend since once they start appearing, it will probably get more inquiries, that we have a specific process for this specific action. And make it just crystal clear how people can go about if they have concerns, so that there is just a ABC outline how to follow, and make it very clear. I think it would be a smart thing to do.
You do have that. Oh, sorry, Jean, you did develop that. You need certain threshold percentage of the block. I mean, I think that's one thing that you really championed is that process. But Andrea, to your point, it's not written anywhere for the public.
That's
So
right.
we know, okay, this amount of the block triggers a review by Public Works and John String, then this goes to council. So, then they're notified. So perhaps putting that on the webpage as we upload it would be helpful for folks to see those steps. But Jean, I thought you've been following that really kind of nicely.
Yeah, I mean, it is on the website, but you have to kind of take a couple steps to get there. So I think it does make sense to kind of put that more at the forefront.
Let's make it easier to find.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's worth mentioning probably, we have had several requests, I will say, I can't remember what the distance is. We have to have an offset from the intersection, and it's either 150 or 200 feet. And a lot of our blocks are not long enough. Like, there's been multiple requests for,
stay on.
Sabine and Windsor.
Windsor.
Sabine, there was only one spot that was even eligible based on the manual. We did a speed study, the speed didn't indicate a need. Windsor, I don't think any of the blocks were sufficient for the distance. So it's going to be isolated in what areas we can deploy them.
right. I mean, so it sounds like that's something that makes sense to put on the website, but not so much the newsletter. Does that make sense?
Right,
Yes.
yeah, sure.
If somebody has a specific interest in it, let them come forward as opposed to us pushing it out.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay, so early 2025 installation. Thank you for moving that along. Next discussion item is pedestrian bike accessibility, Mainline Greenway. I do have an update on that. So Lower Merion Township has confirmed the final design for the Mainline Greenway signage. How they have not identified an installation schedule yet. And I know Narberth has funds in the 2024 budget to get that signage ordered. So I confirmed with them that they're okay with Narberth moving forward with our segment for both the fabrication and the installation.
Great.
And I can forward Jeff the final artwork for production once I receive that from the design firm.
Great. Thank you.
And then we'll also have all the information for the wording on the signs. There will be some medium-sized signs right at the intersection of Narberth Avenue and Woodside Avenue that points to the Narberth Business District and the train station. So it'll hopefully draw some cyclists to visit our downtown and our businesses. Okay, and I don't think there's any update on the Lower Merion and Narberth active transportation plan. So we'll move on to committee reports. Shade Tree Commission, I did connect with Rick Trelease. They had their November planting event. They had planted about 24 trees, engaged about 25 volunteers. Right now, they're shifting back to code enforcement information, and they're going to schedule a Shade Tree Commission walk through the downtown area to assess the downtown trees for a replacement plan. And then I also just wanted to thank the Public Works Department for their support for that event.
If I could add also that, just so this committee is aware, the Finance and Admin Committee meeting next week. And as they go and review boards and commissions and the charges, this is one that the chair of the Finance and Admin Committee meeting is interested in reviewing next. Our Shade Tree Commission ordinance. There is some things in the Shade Tree ordinance that need addressing. Just want to let you all know that that seems to be the next course of action for Finance and Admin starting next Thursday. Just to update that to make it more relevant and easier to manage and maintain.
Great, thank you. And then Environmental Advisory Committee. So I did connect with Joe Toscano. They're working on the EV charger pricing adjustment to get that to cost neutral for the EV chargers. Lee Davis has reached out to the Lower Merion Township Sustainability Manager to talk about the composting pilot that they have that they're expecting to roll out in 2025. we probably won't have the capacity to address that until mid-year 2025 at the earliest, but just to put that on the radar. And then they're also, they attended the regional event for, held by Penn Environment for gas-powered leaf blowers. And Jeff Eldon, I believe he attended that event as well, to present how the borough has been involved with switching to electric landscaping equipment. So just kudos to Jeff for leading that effort and kind of transitioning our borough equipment to clean energy equipment. And then Police Advisory Committee, we have Rebecca Starr here. Any?
I have no updates now. We canceled our December meeting. We'll reconvene now that we have the new charge after the first of the year.
Okay, great. And no update from the Health Advisory Council from Lower Marion Township. The fire company report, I don't think we have that. But it'll be included in January, or the January agenda packet.
I'm sorry, I think I did receive it and I put it in the council. It would be in the council meeting packet, so I can add, I'll add that, I'm sorry, I'll add that to the, this meeting packet here
Okay, great.
momentarily. Sorry about that.
And police report,
Nothing in addition to what was already included, just reminding residents that if they are going away for holidays, that they can call in or email in for vacant house checks.
okay.
I'd also remind people, when it's a constant reminder, but when you park your vehicle, please lock your door and take your keys with you, because we've had a few incidents of rifling through cars. Although interestingly enough, I saw on the news today that they did arrest an individual who was involved in many of these break-ins in both Philadelphia and Montgomery County. But still, you know what? We just don't want to become the place known for unlocked car doors, and to encourage people to come. So please, it's a simple step. Please take it.
Thank you. Also, actually, was there any update on, I know you had reached out to Lower Marion Township about that signal timing at Linwood Tunnel?
Nothing yet. I'm still trying to work with traffic safety there. I think it's going to eventually have to get escalated to PennDOT. So they've cycled a couple times. They said that they are at the maximum time for North Linwood Road now. So it would require something to change on East Linwood Road. So they're saying it needs to be PennDOT authorized. So.
All right, so I'll open it up to public comment. Any public comment?
Sorry, I am public. I'm waiting for someone else to comment. I actually do. I just wanted to thank this committee for the recommendation, and then Matt for the implementation of lining all of the parking spots along Haverford Avenue. I think is a really great addition, and love that it's there.
And hey, when it's all parked up, it really does work for traffic calming.
Yeah.
I've never seen cars go so slowly down this section of Haverford Ave when it's all parked up.
Yeah, and it's just great for people to know that the spots are there on top of it. So it's the win-win.
I have to say that chicane that occurs is also helpful as a cyclist for that one block, because they often have to make that one block entering into, is it Dudley or Conway? But it's very helpful to have that space.
Win-win-win. That's great.
Yeah.
Everyone's giving a thumbs up.
And as it turns out, it created a fate of like with this tree falling down.
Oh, yeah.
As it turns out, because the car had shifted over, apparently, the injuries or the potential injury was greatly reduced. So from a pure peaceful event, got those things stretched.
Low cost, high impact. Love it.
Yes, just the cost of paint.
Okay.
Okay, so if there's nothing else that anyone else wants to add,
Want to thank Jean for running a great committee for the year, for as our last meeting. Thank you for running efficient, good committee for the year.
Thank you, and thank you for offering me some grace.
You
In my
did
first
great.
year.
You didn't need a meeting.
So I will take a motion to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn. See everybody next year.
Second.
And all in favor? And meeting is adjourned at 10:27 a.m.